Welcome to All Saints Church Thought for the Day. On 2 days ago we looked at the season of creation. Yesterday our Rocker eco-church scheme, what the church can do together in these sort of times when eco matters are really playing a big part in planning our future. And today I'm going to give you an express tour of the All Saints grounds. I'm going to see if I can find 20 uses of the grounds, 20 things that the ground is used for. First, the notice board. There's another notice board down here, and as we go round this area at the front, every spring there's a wonderful display of yellow daffodils, and they're tended by Rona, so that's always a display that is noticed by the public. And also further down here we've got some roses, so we've got a nice colourful front to the garden. I'm not sure how many of you have actually been round the back, but it's not used all that much. But this side has this lovely lawn, and grass has been left a little bit uncut because there hasn't been any rain, but it's due for a cutting, and organised a little team of volunteers who are going to be cutting the grass. It's not been growing much because it's been so dry. And if you look behind us, you just see Chatsworth Centre. That's a centre for school groups visiting Swanage, perhaps doing an environmental course. About 200 beds there, and I came to Swanage, and actually I worked in there, and if you look across the road you see a house, and I lived in there in 1980, and the green van, that's where I first set eyes on my dear wife Anya. And yeah.
Who's holding the camera?
Who's holding the camera, yes. So let's go up and see. Moving up the lawn quickly. Yeah, we're looking for this to be cut regularly. But this open area, it does get used for weddings and wedding receptions. It has been used for car wash together with the car park, used for car wash or fun day, where all this is set out with things like refreshments and face painting for kids and soap the vicar. And over here we've got a garden shed, and the remains of sunflower competition. Some nice goodisha. There's a barrel of water, so if anybody wants to come along and do some watering, they can. You can see it's a little bit wild. We have just left this part a bit wild, and you can see here we've actually planted some vegetables. So we've got here some beans that have been planted, and hopefully they can give us a crop that we can eat with some potatoes. You can see a few potatoes around, and they just grow up like one. I'll just have a look to see if I can dig up some potatoes. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, so oh, there we are. Yeah, some potatoes just dug up there. So anyway, wild garden. We're going to put some more work to produce some feeding stations for animals for the autumn and winter, for birds and little nesting places. So this is our wildlife area. Let's move on round. And they've put in little bird box here. So I've got a couple of bird boxes. Perhaps going to fix up a bat box. We've got some Bible plants, and there's an apricot tree apricot was thought that rather than an apple tree at the centre of the Garden of Eden, it was an apricot tree. A couple of grapevines and a fig tree. These have been growing, and if you look at here, you'll even see just here there's a little fig growing. I might be able to eat that in a couple of months' time. Over here we've got a compost heap. Yeah, so can you hear me? We've got a compost heap, and we compost not just waste from the garden, or not the weeds, the grass, but also from the kitchen, the church kitchen. So tea bags, coffee grounds, eggshells come into here. This is the compostable recycling, and just by the bins there's a non-compostable recycling. So we do try and recycle. Now Andy and I do coffee pot on a Thursday morning, or at least we used to, and suddenly some of our coffee pot people have passed away, and here we've got some roses. So we've got roses to in this memorial garden, and around there's a couple more vines, and there's also an almond tree. The almond tree in the Bible is the first tree of the season that's flowering. This olive tree was found 3 years ago in a pot on the steps, very, very dead. And it was Palm Sunday, Easter, so we decided to try and see if we could get it to allow it to revive, and put it in a hole in the ground with some horse manure and water, no special chemicals, no special treatment. And it's grown and it's flourished and it's fruited. For the last 3 years we've been having these tiny olive trees. And Coffee Pot have every year, we have an olive gathering thing, but this year the olives are getting bigger and bigger, and we're wondering whether when we harvest in November that we're going to get some which are big enough to eat. Oh yes, over here there's a tree here, it's a crab apple which has been planted as part of a campaign by Sustainable Swanage to plant a tree for every child in Swanage schools. So they're planting them around the town, and we're part of that plan, working with Sustainable Swanage. They've also advised us heavily about leaving this area, and this year we've, rather than mowing it, it's been left since March to grow without being mowed at all. It hasn't been touched. As you can see, it hasn't actually grown very much because there hasn't been much rain, but it has been left, and we were able to see a few months ago pyramid orchids growing. We had 7 pyramid orchids growing here. It's the time of autumn ladies' tresses orchids, and you can see a few of these. They're growing in the path that has been cut, but all together in this area there's some more untouched growth over there, and you can see I counted them a couple of days ago, and there was over 100 of these autumn ladies' tresses here. And so we sort of feel this is really wonderful to see these plants growing. New feature are some rings to secure bicycles. So trying to get people to, rather than using a car like me all the time, to actually to come up my bike, and they can lock them safely there. And we've also installed a water butt, and the water butt so that we can water flowers with rainwater rather than tap water. If you're interested in joining our grounds team, then do contact me, and we can always use you. How many items is that? How many uses we got?
19.
Pardon?
19.
19. Right, well we said we wanted to find 20 uses, so thought for the day, giving you a thought. Can you think of activity number 20? What else could we do using the grounds for the purposes of the church, the community, something eco? Got any thoughts? Let us know. What is number 20 activity that we could do?